Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Sunway Show. I'm especially excited that we have today with us Sunway student Suvam Yadav, who is a very talented poet, and two of his poems have been published in an edited book, Is Anybody Home, which is funded by the British Embassy. So, as a college, we are very proud to have Mr. Suvam here with us. He has written two striking poems titled Conviction and The Weight of Flight, and which is published here, which speaks about freedom, belonging, and the courage to live on your own terms. And we wish today in this podcast to explore more about what it takes, Suvam, to turn his personal emotions and personal moments into poems. So, welcome and congratulations, Suvam. And it's our honor to have you with us.
Thank you so much for making this happen.
So, now immediately walking into the journey of your poetic life. Yeah. Now, how did it feel to take this book in your hands, which entails two of your poems?
Honestly, it was a dream come true to have my poems published for the first time. I've been writing seriously for about like 6, 7 years,
Oh.
and when you start writing, you like always dream of having it published, and that's what everyone dreams of. And then and during the book launch, when I first held this book in my hands and I was reading my poems, it was a moment of realization that it actually happened, that my dream actually came true.
And you were excited, super
I
excited.
was excited, I was proud, I was almost crying.
What did you exactly do? Well, how did you emote? You said you were crying. Did you
I-
share it with your family?
I was it was the book launch was it was at a cafe in Patton, and I had invited all of my lifelong friends there, and my sister and her friends, and like it was a very communal space. And when we were introducing our book to the people, to the audience, and I was reading up like an excerpt from my poem to everyone, and that's the moment I was like I got choked up. I was like, I cannot cry in front of everyone, but I want to. And it was, and all of my friends were there sitting in the front row, and everyone was just smiling at me and like looking at me with so much love. It was unbelievable experience. It's just a different feeling to be loved by
It
everyone
is.
this way.
It is.
yeah.
And I can feel your joy and your emotions. And it's okay to cry. When you're
It is okay.
overwhelmed, it's okay to cry. So the proverb that boys can't cry is a bad one. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Now, coming back to your poems, right? Both your poems use the imagery of birds and flights in such a strong manner. What drew you to this metaphor? It's a brilliant metaphor, and most of the brilliant poets use this birds as leap heights, and moving away from its own habitat and all that. So, was it something that you thought of, about for a long time, or did it just happen while writing?
Well, I've always been jealous of birds. The way they can just move from country to country and nobody asks them for their passport or their visa, and like, how they spend their summer in Europe
How
and then
nice.
fly back to South Asia or Africa during winters. And I wish I could do that, just go to some other place of the world wherever I would want, just based on my will. And that curiosity, that line of thought always stayed with me. And when I was writing this poem, I wanted to explore the concept of abandoning one's home and everything that comes with it. And I think it just came naturally to connect birds leaving their homes and migrating to other places, and humans doing the same.
So, you wish as a human to have wings
Or
And-
or a stronger passport.
or a stronger passport. All right, okay. So in your poem Conviction, which we have it here, we see a character resisting family expectations, right? And even facing conflicts for simply wanting to be themselves. Like what you said, that you're about having longer hair. I read that, and I could relate to young people and young boys of your age. Was this inspired by your own experiences, or people you know, or a mix of different stories from here there?
I think it was inspired by our collective experience of people of my generation, me and my friends, and especially in the state of our society right now, it is still quite restrictive of how you're allowed to exist as a human, what you're allowed to do, and like it's quite a limited way to exist as a man or as a woman. And there's always a struggle, especially with young people, of what it is expected of them and what they want to do and how they want to exist and how they want to express themselves, whether that be just in a sense of like how long they want their hair to be, or like if what they want to study. And it also expands into terms of like gender expression and sexuality and sexual orientations, and like just being oneself, one's natural self. It comes to you naturally, it comes to from the within. But society wants to put you in boxes and restricts your expression and how you're allowed to what you're allowed to feel and how you're allowed to feel that. And all of these restrictions, there's because of that restriction, there's also always this struggle, there's to and fro. And I think I wanted to explore the exact thing in my poem.
So if I wind it up, you feel that you shouldn't be prescribed about anything about your life.
Exactly.
Your life is your life, and you should have the freedom of living your way. I could read a word pink in your poem, and I thought as much, because there are prescriptions that women wear pink and men wear blue.
Yes.
I mean, and who gave that prescription, and or who gave this ideology, or any So I understand, and it's very brilliantly expressed, and I loved reading your poems. One line that actually struck out was, "I don't want to be a clone." And that stayed with me. And what does being yourself mean to you personally? And also, I must tell the audience that you're a student of AI,
Yes.
and you don't want to be cloned. And while working with computers and all that stuff, and AI, taking this giant leap in the world, you're talking of emotions, and you don't want to be a clone. I want to know more about this.
There's so much we can talk about this, but one way to put it is as like, I think it is very important for one to have this personal autonomy to flourish in life. I think a flower blooms so beautifully because no one tells it to be a certain way, or don't differentiate from your neighbor flowers, or no one tells a flower what to do, and that's why they're so beautiful. And for a human to fully become themselves and flourish in the best way that they can, there needs to be that autonomy to just exist as however they feel and just do whatever they feel. And coming back to the topic of AI and how because society itself is in a way very limiting of what it allows people to, and allows how people can be, they can express themselves and how they're supposed to behave. Everyone is supposed to fit a form, like everyone is supposed to fit a mold. And I don't know how exactly AI would come in terms of that, because I think AI itself is quite freeing. It if you if you're if you're a student of AI, you know how this technology, it quite literally is one of the biggest breakthrough, one of big major leap in our societal evolution, technological evolution. And I think it can just bring us new ways to be more free and uh, more allow us more different avenues to express ourselves. And yeah, just to I think it will bring a new wave of freedom.
I know what you're saying. We also have it in our research areas, um, there is a line, a punchline. One method fits all is should not be the approach, and that's what you're saying.
Yes.
That every individual has its own growth and has its own stories to say, and they should not be, fixed in one approach.
Yes.
That's what you're saying, right? Very nice. Coming back to your second poem, In Weight of Light, the title itself was so heavy. And when I read it, I was moved. I was very moved. Also moved that such a young boy, and who has just come into higher education, very young, very, people your age are so, guided by others. But here you have your own mental thought, your own story to tell, and individually you're so strong, emotionally you're so strong. Today everybody is talking about intelligent quotient. I feel emotional quotient is much more heavier and more powerful, and more important for people to have, and you have that.
Thank
So
you.
I was while I was reading, I was very proud, and I wanted to say this to you, and this is the right forum. So in Weight of Light, there is this very beautiful but very heavy pull between home and the wider world, right? That's what you're trying to express. How do you personally navigate that tension? There is a tension. You stay home, there's a tension because of limited avenues, resources, the comfort of house versus the freedom of leaving home and going elsewhere.
I think my generation, all of everyone from my generation, dreamt of, or we were sold this dream of if once we grow up, we might be able to just fly out of this country and go to a world that is freer, and go to a sky that might be freer, and freer as in sense because everyone knows how limited opportunities in Nepal are, and it is sort of a truth that is universally accepted, and because of that, even the parents would be like, if you work well, if you study well, if you put in the work, you might one day go to America and have a bigger life there, and there is some truth to that, but because we all dreamt of one day flying away, as we grow up, and then we're hit with this question after you finish your high school: do you stay or do you go? And I was facing the same question as well. I was like, maybe I don't want to go outside because I love my country. I want to do things that I'm proud of here. I want to be with my parents, my family, and everyone that I've ever loved lives here. So do I leave all of that to explore a sky that I'm not very aware of? Maybe it is free, maybe it is not. And I think everyone in my generation does face that question once, because all of my friends were also trying their hands at IELTS and other ways to go outside, and it just, yeah.
And in this vivid imagery, the use of imagery that you've made and listed in your poems, comes a very moving image of the weight of your mother's last hug.
Yeah.
And I'm having goosebumps. And how do you think of such details, and how do they come to you? Do they come to you from your memory or imagination, or does it come to you from somewhere else, your friends or your peers? What happens?
That line itself came from memory. When I was in grade 8, I was put in boarding school, and that was a very
moving moment.
That was a very literal recollection of that scenario. When I was in my hostel, I would remember the last time I held my mother. I was in my mother's arms, and I was, and I pulled that line from my memory.
Brilliant. Your poems also explore, the sense of belonging, identity, individuality. Do you think today's young people face bigger challenges, bigger struggles than these themes compared to earlier generation?
I don't think they face these challenges more severely. I think it is more. I think today they have more avenues to express their struggle with identity and individuality and self-realization. When we talk about gender expression and people who are queer and out of sexual minorities, they had more uh, more of a today they have a freer world, I guess, that a world that is more accepting. They might be at least they're allowed to
Express.
express their struggles in social media. They can find their community.
So, which generation was under more pressure? Who struggled more? Our generation, or generation before, or your generation?
Generation before me had a whole different struggle. They even the information about what gender minority is, what a queer, what a mm, what even the information that someone is queer or someone is gay or lesbian or trans, they would not be able to identify themselves because they did not have that information, because that information, even though people existed, this line of thinking, this way to express it, this even these words were outlawed, persecuted by the authorities, by the
Judged by the
society.
society. Yeah.
And it was, for us, it's a matter of discrimination. We might face hateful words at worst, but people of previous generation, it would be a matter of life or death, and it's much. I think society has progressed in this matter, and it is better now.
Well,
And
yeah, in such cases, the present generation is much more in a stronger position.
Yeah.
But in the themes that you carry, I was asking about that. The themes of these poems about leaving home and all. I was asking which generation is more struggling with those kind of aspects. But let me move on to another question. If someone reading your poems is currently deciding whether to stay home in Nepal or whether to move out, what would you want them to take away from your work?
I think it's not just human nature, but as creatures on Earth, we have this tendency, or we have this curiosity to explore places that are, that are in the other side of the world. And I don't think we should limit ourselves. I don't think we should deny ourselves of that curiosity. So uh, explore the world all you can, all you want, but in the end, one must return home. Yeah, one should return home.
So the root should be intact. That's what you're
Exactly.
saying, and that's
Yes.
what I read. That you should not ever cut your roots.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't think you can even do it. I don't think leave. I think you can leave home, but I don't think home leaves you. It always stays somewhere in the back of your head, in the back of your personality, and even if you try to cut the roots, it will not. So I think you should just embrace it.
At the same time, you should also explore the world.
Yes.
Yeah. So you should have a balance. Brilliant. Well, did the process of writing these two poems titled Conviction and The Weight of Light change the way you see your own life decisions or your connection to your roots?
Actually, I was trying to figure out myself, do I want to leave or not, while I was writing the poem. I chose to write on this exact topic because of that, because like maybe I'll figure it out by the end of writing process.
Right.
And I guess it was the same conclusion that even if you want to explore the whole world, you should be connected to your roots and always like
So you decided to stay back and do your higher education here in Nepal.
Yes.
Yes? I mean, talking to you, I also have another question which comes from your answer. That would you like to tell just this generation that you get yourself skilled staying here in your in your familiar environment, get yourself equipped with enough skills that would help you explore the world and not go there. And as you've written in your poems that you're brushing McDonald's and a floor and working as a labor, that's what you're actually trying to say, that you get yourself equipped first and then explore the world so that you are not exploited. That's what
that
you're
is
saying?
true.
Yeah.
One thing that I forgot to mention is we think of Western countries as a freer country that, if you go there, you can just have a ball. But truth is, when you go there, every piece of your freedom, uh, uh, every aspect of your life, you have to buy it inch by inch. And maybe it is because the way the economy is shaped, maybe there might be other reasons for it, but what it does to you is that when you're this young and you go to some other country and you're trying to just work really hard just to be able to afford to live, and then you have to study as well, it's too much for a young person. And I don't think I would have survived that. Like, as a 20-year-old, I still feel like a kid. I'm still a teenager, and I don't think I would have survived working and studying and trying to do my best just to have a moment of, like, I don't think I would have been able to do that in a healthy manner. And I'm very glad that I stayed back and I'm pursuing my bachelor's here. And then
Well, you're too immature for as a teenager, I
Yeah.
must say. And also, what you said, if I take out the crux of it, you said that something or the other will be compromised.
Yes.
And what happens is that the major role gets compromised, the studies that you go for in this age.
Yes.
So you're conveying, and through your poems you're saying that stay back, do your bit, get yourself, to be enough skilled and enough equipped with all those, attributes that will make you able to explore the world, and
Exactly.
then only you can make it big.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Suvam, before we wrap up, let's do something, different. Now, your poems are titled Conviction and the Weight of Flight. Can you describe conviction in 3 words and weight of flight in 3 words?
I think the best way to describe conviction would be birds gotta fly. Like, a bird's gotta fly. And to describe weight of flight would be home never leaves.
So home never leaves, home stays in you.
Yes.
Well, it's poignant because yes, many people forcibly or because of the societal familial pressures, as you said, because of financial conditions, they have to leave abroad. Sometimes they have to leave abroad to make use of their attributes, and for higher education, and then they don't want to come back home for several reasons. But they do, always find home lacking,
Yeah.
and they always miss it.
Yeah.
And I also want to add on to it that those people who stay abroad, actually home never leaves them.
Yes.
And they are, in a way, incomplete.
Yes.
They're never completed, despite their financial, achievements or educational achievements. They miss home, and there can never be anything else which substitutes home.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And relatives. Well, I need to congratulate you once again, Suvam, and Sunway College is very, very proud of you, because in today's age, as I said, everybody is intelligent. There are so many, things that can aid in your IQ, that can help in your IQ and enhancement of it. There are very few things that a person takes to be emotionally equipped. And a boy your age is so sensitive, and he's not only sensitive about himself, he's also sensitive about the surrounding, about the country, about his peer, is a great thing to realize. And I especially I'm so, as a representative of Sunway College, I'm so proud of you. And we are fortunate to have you in our college. And I wish that one day you have your own book of your poems. And congratulations for this, because to begin with, it's a huge feat and you deserve all the accolades, and we join you in your happiness.
Thank you so
very
much, ma'am. I'm so overwhelmed by your kindness and how much the support and love this college has shown me. Thank you so much.
And stay here. This is your home. Make your home flourish. That is what we should do, right?
Yes.
And congratulations once again. And see you later with another book of yours.
Of course.
Thank you.